Hi, I'm Siphila Dlamini. I'm a student activist at the University of the Free State in South Africa, and I'm here to share with you today my experience with the 2015-2016 FISMA's Fall Revolution. The revolution started in South Africa at the dawn of the academic year, and due to high prices and high fees in education, we as students decided to take our future in our hands. So we engaged the government of South Africa, we engaged universities that we could no longer breed. We were unable to pay for our university fees. Our parents were struggling to pay for our fees. 1 in 10 South Africans already did not afford university education. However, with so as a result, we lobbied government, we lobbied universities, we lobbied political leaders, but we did not get anywhere with that. So we decided that since majority of us could no longer go to school, could no longer afford university, we were going to protest. The protest started mainly at the University of Cape Town, in Cape Town, as well as the Wits University in Johannesburg. Soon, they later spread to the rest of the country. Universities such as the University of Mpumalanga, the TUT, University of Technology, the University of the Free State was number 4 to join the protests. And as a result, the movement came with much deeper discussion and opened much deeper discussion around the legacy of the apartheid regime in South Africa, as well as the impact that it had on our curriculum as a country. What followed was months of engagements, of protests, universities spent because our political leaders, as well as university management, did not want to come to the table to listen to us. So we led protest. At the time, I was the deputy provincial chairperson of the Congress of South African Students in the Mpumalanga province in South Africa. And my main role in the FISMA's Fall Revolution was to mobilize high school learners to join protests at universities. Universities throughout South Africa were the central hub where the revolution took place. We shut down classes and ensured that no education could continue until we got what we wanted. But a much bigger part of the discussion became the need for the legacy of the apartheid regime in the current education system to be eliminated. This included academic spaces, this included names and symbols on university campuses throughout the country. For example, the University of the Free State had over 5 statues of apartheid generals who had played an intricate role in the apartheid regime and in its implementation and its success. So as black students, we said we do not feel comfortable being in a university space that celebrates figures of apartheid. One of those figures includes President Martin Steyn, who was a general of the Free State Republic, that eventually led him to murder over 500,000 people of color in South Africa during his tenure. It became also a bid to decolonize the curriculum and to ensure that curriculums throughout universities in South Africa reflect the demographics and the transformation of the country that we want and we envision. This protest lasted for approximately 3 years until the end of 2017, when then President of the Republic, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma, announced at the closing of the conference of the ruling party in South Africa, the African National Congress, that the South African government would implement free education. We celebrated because after 3 long years, we had finally achieved a small portion of what we had wanted. Now, this announcement came with other issues. One, there was no actual framework for the South African government to implement free education. There was no plan in place. There was no long-term sustainability. However, while a majority of South African students were able to be funded through government loans and sponsorships the following year, it did not speak to the sustainability of the program or how the government was aiming to ensure that this system does not fall on its place, on its own face 5 to 10 years down the line. The current system at the moment is looking at future models to ensure sustainability and ensuring that more and more South African young people have the right to education and are able to have access to the doors of learning, because ultimately the doors of learning being open means freedom, it means empowerment, and most importantly it means young people in South Africa are at the helm of their own destiny and are the drivers of change. That is what we were fighting for during the Fizz Must Fall revolution, and it is an amazing accomplishment to be here today and witness its implementation. The system may not be perfect as yet, but we're getting somewhere. Free education, forward.